Yes, a huge day in rugby league. Michael Maguire sacked, Nathan Brown sacked as well, who we're going to talk to later. Let's bring the journos right in. Dave Riccio, Paul Crawley, amazing, really incredible in one day. Two coaches sacked, huge news for the game.
Well, it's amazing that it's happened, but what's really amazing is it took this long for the West Tigers to make their decision. Like, this was the talk of the town last year.
Yeah.
Huge day. I can't recall two coaches being sacked on one day. Yeah. When the Tigers' phones of the executives went dead from about 7:30 this morning to about midday today, you knew something was up, and it was the end of Michael Maguire's tenure.
Yeah, well, West Tigers Director of Football, Tim Sheens, joins us now. Sheens, I know you've been a little bit crook and it's been a tough day for yourself, the club and Michael Maguire, but why was the decision made today?
Well, wasn't particularly today, it was just coming. My decision after going through things half year, having a look at where we were, was that in 3 years' time, was Michael going to be the coach? We've got a 3-year plan. Didn't see that was the case. Now was the time to do it in this respect. Halfway through a year, you're looking at November coming quickly, and recruitment for next year is so important. So many coaches have gone into a club and said, oh, we didn't get a chance to recruit, we didn't get a chance to use the salary cap, so on and so on and so on. It's not my group, and use that as an excuse. So we're looking to sort that out now. We're looking for a development coach, someone that's going to develop the young blokes in our club at the moment, let alone the youngsters coming through. And over the next 2 to 3 seasons, that's our aim.
Sheens, you say it's been coming for some time yet, so I'm just curious to know why, if it has been coming. We spoke about it last night on the show as power brokers had told the show that it was on the verge of happening. Why was he asked to then turn up this morning and coach the team before he was actually told?
Look, yeah, there's no perfect answer to that, Paul. At the moment, I've been there, done that as a coach myself. So at the end of the day, it was decisions came from me. I was crook late last week, so there was probably a bit of a lull there between me and getting to talk to the board and to the administration. But it's my decision, and it's my recommendation, and the board have unanimously agreed to it. This time last year, mate, it was before I got here. They were talking about it. I know that there was the review, as that dreaded word, and but he was given an opportunity. We've gone halfway through a season and we are worse than where we've been. So it's a result-driven business. You guys know that. And at the end of the day, as fair or unfair as it is, a decision had to be made. With a dozen games to go, we need to be looking at, before we get to November, who we're keeping in the club, who we're letting go, who we're buying, what the salary cap looks like. We need a leader, someone that's going to be here for the next 3 years at least. So
the review was undertaken over the summer. Nobody was ever told what the findings were out of that review. Can you tell us now what failed to happen out of that review? So 6 months later, before the season is over?
Paul, I disagree that nothing happened. To start with, the coach was retained. 2, and given another opportunity. 2, both assistant coaches were moved, and he appointed 2 coaches. The GM was moved, and I was brought in. A leader to our was put in charge of our pathways. We've never had that before, and Brett Kamali was put in as a coach to our pathways. A little bit more than no reaction, mate. Okay. I think we don't have to announce those things. We don't have to come out and say, this is happening, that's happening. It was quite obvious what we did, and we gave him another chance. The issue that when I was brought on was, well, you've given Madge another chance. You don't sack him in 2 games, right? And that's what I said in round 2. It's not round 22, it's round 2. So at the end of the day, things haven't improved, and Madge understands this. I understand it. We've all been in that business of struggling for results, given lots of reasons or excuses, but lots of reasons. But at the end of the day, this is year 3.5, mate. Going into the end of year 4, we've got to make a move on where we're going to be in 3 years' time, what we're going to do with those kids, and what we're going to do with the younger guys. Young Stefano, for instance, in our team, he's only 21 years of age. So we need to be developing those players, and was my advice.
Why didn't Madge work out then?
Look, mate, that's an answer that I can't. Well, that's something I can't answer for a million reasons, mate. But it's around pegging a square hole. Look, Madge is a good coach, mate. Don't get me wrong.
I get that.
He's proven himself.
We know that about him, Sheens. We know that about him, and we've been told reports that he's not in charge of his own recruitment. I mean, was that fair to say that he wasn't in charge of recruitment? That's garbage.
Garbage. There's not a player there that he hasn't signed or re-signed. Mm-hmm. Not one, mate. Okay. Initially, he had the problem, which is what we're facing now, and that is going into the next year, recruiting into next year, and Michael was involved in recruiting in for next year. At this stage, we didn't think that was going to work, and we needed to have someone who was going to control the club and the recruitment for next year. To say he wasn't in charge is absolute rubbish. He was on our retention committee, mate. No decision was ever made without Michael's approval. None.
Let me ask you this then. We both know Michael Maguire's a good coach. You've acknowledged that yourself, and you've certainly seen that firsthand. How do you sell the club to any coach, whether it's a young coach, a development coach, an experienced coach? How do you sell the coach that you're going to be a club that's determined to turn it around, not only determined to turn it around, but knows how to turn it around and will not further impact their career in the future?
How do we turn it around, mate, is we change our policies, we change what we're doing. To start with, I'm in charge of that, so it's up to me now to direct the club and to move forward with that. As far as recruitment and other things are concerned, the coach will be in charge of that. My only role there with Warren McDonald is to control the salary cap. You know, you give a coach free rein, we won't have a salary cap. So we need to, they're the only restrictions that are ever placed on a coach. Mate, I'll be knocked over with applicants. Don't worry about that, Paul. Yeah. So, you know, that's the issue is trying to find the right guy to fit. Like I said, a round peg in a square hole doesn't mean Madge isn't a good coach. He's going to find a round hole to fit into, and I've done that. I've seen that, mate. So it's one of those things that, you know, every now and then, you know, you start off in any sort of business, everyone's in a honeymoon period, and then if things don't work, it doesn't work, you know. So it just hasn't, in 4 years, going on 4 years, mate, it hasn't worked for whatever reason, a million reasons. But it's not so. I think Madge is a very dedicated coach, a very good, you know, attitude to whatever he does. He throws himself in 100%. But we're not getting results, mate. And we give him this year to have another shot at it, and it hasn't happened. So we have to make a move. It's on me and the club to make sure our 400,000 odd supporters get some sort of results within the near future.
Tim, Paul Crawley here. Who is the right coach? Like, if we go back a decade since they punted you, they've gone through 5 coaches now and they haven't found the right fit. Who is the right fit?
Well, we're looking for a development coach, so someone who's prepared to give our youngsters an opportunity, that's going to need to be patient. It's not going to be a simple fix tomorrow. Those kids, we've got a lot of 21 and under in the club. We just have to cherry pick where we need to cherry pick and develop hard and continue our development program, which will be next year and the year after and the year after. We've got a great pathways now. We've grabbed Group 6 and all the kids that come with it, and we're determined to make a fist of that. It will take a little bit of time, but I'm not saying it'll be 3 years before we get a result. It'll be over a period of time, over the 3 years, that we need to get better and better and develop the kids, as well as the younger players and the veterans that we'll need to pick here and there.
Is it a young coach or is it an experienced coach?
A development coach.
Tim, Dave Riccio, is it Cameron Ciraldo?
Is it? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Is it Cameron Ciraldo that fits the bill as far as you're concerned? You know the same names doing the rounds, the candidates.
Cameron's been mentioned at Canterbury as well, and I think even the Warriors. Look, at the moment, we're not in a hurry to sort that, as in tomorrow, but before now in November, and well before November, we have to go to market and find someone that was happy with us and we're happy with them. They need to be involved well before November. So 12 games to go. You know, if I go predicting a time, you're all going to be pounding me at that period. But over the next month or two, we're going to have to sort through what's the best option for the club, so that they're well and truly on board before we have to make those decisions in November. I'm already being criticised for, why aren't we moving on Jackson and Adam and young, Dane, all the players that, why aren't you doing that? They're all in contract next year, but obviously before November we have to make a call, and I'm not going to make a call without the coach, who's going to have to wear those calls.
Sheens, I know it's been a long, tough, stressful day for yourself. We appreciate you coming on the show at this time of night, and good luck moving forward.